É o clube da foda, só.
Yes, we are live, except we're not. Yay. What episode even is this? I don't know what time it is
La, la,
anymore.
la.
I don't
I
know where I
don't
am,
know.
actually.
I don't
Wait,
remember.
we have
Well,
we've been.
We have.
Where have we been
We have been.
for all this time?
We have been, dude.
have we been?
We have.
This
Me?
is the episode 33.
I don't know.
32?
It is?
No,
Is it?
33.
30?
No, it's 33 because
Is it 30?
because Zevlen didn't post the.
I did not post
Oh,
the last
yeah.
one
Oh yeah,
because
let's remind
different.
everyone watching this. We actually have one that we filmed, God knows when, that we didn't
Like,
send.
almost
To everyone.
a month ago.
Surprise.
It's been a while. I
Yeah.
didn't post it because I
And
was
we never
embroiled in
posted it.
existential terror, and so, yeah, 33 it is. Oh my God, we're old.
33 without the 32 being out yet. And there's
Well,
going
it's
to be
the
one.
it's the roll
Good.
credits episode 32.
Oh, this is
Don't
gonna
you-
be one of the best episodes.
This is gonna be
Here's
fantastic.
the thought. So everyone that is watching this right after episode 32, don't expect that we're just going to vibe right after we left off, because it has been a month since.
It hasn't
We are
been
here.
like an exact month, but it's been pretty close. In fact, I don't exactly remember where we were. I should probably have looked into this, like before.
That sounds promising.
Okay, we're back.
Hey,
I think we shouldn't have.
wait, hey.
Let me see if I can remember if
Alright. Is
Oh,
your audio
okay.
alright?
Normal
Yes.
episode.
our audio is fine. I remember now what we did.
Audio stuttering
So-
a little bit.
Our last episode was a short one. People don't know this because they haven't watched it yet. But the last episode lasted for 50 minutes. What happened was Saber carried
Wait a
Cheeto
minute,
back.
wait a minute. Zevlen.
Yeah.
Just a little thing. We should probably make the assumption that we're going to post the last episode before posting
Oh no,
this one.
no, we're not.
So everyone has to
No,
watch
we're
the
posting
previous
episode 32 after the entire series is over.
one. No,
Any of
please.
you think anyone will watch it?
Nobody will notice.
No.
Nobody will
No,
notice
please
at
don't.
all.
Nobody.
Nobody.
32 was the
If-
one
no,
where
if we-
everything, all the fights happened.
If somebody
It's great.
tells me, if somebody posts a comment saying where is part 32, I'll post it. Until then, nobody will know.
No, please don't.
Nobody will- oh my God.
Please
It would be terrible.
please don't.
Okay,
Please
but
don't.
seriously,
Please don't, man.
what happened last time was Saber. I'm saying this so that I remember what's happening, so that I can be emotionally invested. Saber carried Cheeto
Okay,
back,
makes sense.
and they met up with Lancer, right? And Rin had been captured
Because Archer backstabbed us.
because Archer
Again.
backstabbed us, and she has that.
Again, may I remind you, again.
Yeah, she had that conversation with Archer, and Archer basically said that he was going to give her to Shinji to do whatever Shinji wanted with her after they were done. And then Shido cut to Shido and Saber going back to the forest so that they can fight Archer, presumably. So we're about to head into some Kino territory here. Be warned. This is the 15th day, which means we are 1 day short of finishing UBW.
Jesus,
Just one.
Yeah,
already?
but this one is extremely long. We've read about half of it, I think.
Who are we going to fight in the end game?
Oh,
we are
you'll
already
know.
Going to be,
You'll
we're
know.
already going to be seeing Gilgamesh, and Kotomirikiri is God knows where.
Well,
Oh,
And one day.
maybe this will take some months.
oh yeah,
I'm kidding.
5 months from now, when we're done with UBW, you'll know. Don't worry about it. It's daybreak.
But
There is less conversation as we make our way through the forest, and the silence gets heavier. Just one sec. I'll pull up the recording stuff just so that I know that we're not wasting our time if it goes south. I, Emiya must fight that man when we get to the castle. There is no chance of victory, and a certain loss awaits. I know I'll just be
For one
killed
moment.
once we start fighting.
Sorry. For one moment, I was hoping Shiro would go, I, Shiro Emiya, have a dream.
Man, I want to interject here that it's really weird coming back to this fight after just watching Fight Club. I don't want to elaborate on why that's weird. It's just like it feels weird, man. It's like deja vu.
Okay.
Okay, what are you imagining this fight is going to be? Are you
I'm not gonna explain. If you know, if you know, no, if you know, you know. The rule, the number one, the number one rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. So I'm not gonna talk about it.
That's true.
If
But
you
is
know-
that part that
If
that
you
is-
know, you know. I'm not scared, but it's not because I'm prepared for it. If you talk about dying, that man is already dead. It is equivalent for Emiya Shiro to be dead at the moment I figured that out. That being the
Why
case,
aren't we?
I'm gonna have to cut.
Okay, you're
Trade
imagining,
secrets
You're
out.
imagining Archer and Shiro beating each other on the ground, shirtless, and Saber screaming, "Go, go, 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 go!"
Yeah, pretty much.
In the meantime,
Yeah.
who you'd think will win?
Tyler Durden.
Me.
What is this Kotomi?
Who will win? Tyler Durden, Kotomine Kire. The real
Man,
match.
we need to see Tyler Durden versus Kide would be like the apex of humanity.
Yeah.
Like the two greatest
true,
men
man.
of all time. No sarcasm.
Why do you
I think this is
why
the last
describing
battle of
Kotomine
the.
Kire as the apex of humanity
Oh,
sounds so
he-
fitting.
I know,
if you,
right?
If you think about it, if you
He's the
think about it,
chattest man to ever be born.
No. Here's a thought. Taiga is actually Tyler Durden, like a female version.
Oh my god, no, shut the fuck up.
Just
We're not
think about it.
we're not
It
doing
makes perfect sense. It makes
This is-
perfect sense, bro.
this is so dumb. Shut up. Oh my god.
It's not. Actually think about it. There's logic in it.
Is there though? Is there really?
Yes,
Is there really?
Taiga Dojo is literally the
Is
the
really
genesis
Fight
of the
Club?
Fight Club.
Tiger
Wait a
Dojo
minute,
really
wait-
is Fight
Wait a
Club.
minute. Mapo Tofu, repeat that, please.
Taiga Dojo is the genesis of the Fight Club.
Oh god.
Oh
Let me ask, who
my
is
god.
Ilya in this situation? In this analogy, who is Ilya?
Tyler Durden. No
Who
comment.
is Taiga?
Tyler Durden.
Man, I think that's a sign.
I think we're saying more than we should about Fight Club. We go
We
through the
shouldn't even
castle
be
gate.
talking about Fight
We
Club
should
this
not be
season.
fighting about Fight Club at all. This is completely off the rails. It's been 8 minutes. It's been 8 minutes and we're off the rails.
breaking the first
We've
rule.
we've
We're
broken the
breaking the
first
first
rule.
rule of
We've broken
Fight
the
Club.
second
We're
rule.
breaking the first-
We've talked about
breaking
trade
the-
secrets. This is completely off the
You're
rails.
breaking the
This is a
first-
disaster.
He broke the first rule.
We go through the castle gate. Jesus Christ. Saber looks gloomy, maybe because she knows what kind of a fight awaits us. What's troubling her is him
My God.
and me.
Wait,
Shut up! No,
No.
I can't believe it.
no matter.
She's already taking Shiro's shirt off and saying, "You can do it, man. You can do it. You can do it."
Yeah, man.
You can do
Everybody
it,
knows
we're
that
against
Fight
you.
Club is about fighting, you know? No matter who gets killed and who survives, the one to be eliminated is the same. Her desire to stop this ridiculous fight is causing her pain. Her eyes stare at the sky sharply, and maybe she's angry at the meaningless battle. It's
I
funny.
wonder why like words related to fighting are being repeated so much.
I wonder what's up with. It's almost like the club. This club
NASA
is going
NASA is a big troll.
to be reading
NASA
a
is
bunch of
big
fighting.
troll.
like a fighting club.
Isn't Shiro a part of a club? Like, wasn't he?
He was
archery
part of the
club?
archery club. In archery, you know, there's a fighting aspect to archery. It's
And
almost
now
as
he's
if
gonna fight in archery.
Jesus Christ.
it's almost as if he's part of a fight club.
What a powerful tangent this was, Jesus Christ.
Isn't the Holy Grail War just like a big Fight Club.
Like a big fight club where people
No.
fight each other in the club. And the club is Fuyuki City.
You wait a minute. There's just one difference because people talk a lot about the Holy Grail War.
True. But so do the members of Fight Club, because that shit doesn't stop growing. It's absolutely ridiculous. Everybody breaks rules 1 and 2.
Fair enough.
Just like we're doing right now. The hall is a ruin now. This place covered with the morning
so
mist.
just a question. We are breaking the first and second rules of which Fight Club? The Fight
We
Club or
can't
the
stop.
Holy Grail War?
This is completely unhinged. We can't. We need to stop. This.
There is a mood version of Fight Club. Oh my god.
Oh my god. This is the Fuyuki branch of the Fight Club. This place, covered with the morning mist, will become our place of death.
来たか。随分と遅い到着だな。
Damn, Archer has finally hit bottom. This is so inspiring, guys.
Man, I would like to think this is inspiring if the Fight Club was in my head.
Now, this is a proposition. This is homework for all you Fate Stay Night fans. Go watch Fight Club, and then
watch and
reread this part
And don't talk about
right
it.
after you watch Fight
and
Club.
read
It's a
Fight
real
Club.
vibe. A cold voice echoes. The
Watch
familiar.
and read Fight Club, and then don't talk about it to anyone.
The familiar voice comes from the second floor. The man is standing at the top of the stairs, which are lit by the morning sun. His red outfit is far away, and his figure is hazy in the white glare. But I can see him. I can see my enemy in detail. That should be the same for the man with the hawk eyes, the servant with the role of archer given to him. He is an archer, but not an archer, and he is a contradictory existence that has many noble phantasms, yet carelessly destroys them. All his noble phantasms are duplications, and the fact that he's able to produce swords in infinite number is his noble phantasm. I was the only one who did not realize his true identity. Heroic spirits are summoned from every age. If nobody from the past corresponds to him, then the heroic spirit must be from the future.
ようやく気づいた。あのペンダントが2つあるはずがない。そうだ。あれは命を救われたお前が生涯持ち続けたもの。
Zevlen,
この世に2つとない。
Your
父さん
audio
の
is-
父の形見だ。
there's static in it.
I don't know.
There's
Wait,
beast.
let me try to restart the stream, because I sound. I'm monitoring the audio levels, and it sounds fine on my end.
It's not your audio, it's the live streams.
Yeah, I restarted the live stream, so try getting back into it and tell me how it sounds. Anyway, there isn't any music playing in the back, so
Yeah, that explains.
yeah, I already opened it, so you can join.
Oh, you're just gonna fight the club, huh?
Jesus fucking Christ, shut up.
Oh god, this.
I just want to comment on a phrase that Shiro has said, that Archer is an archer but not an archer. So I guess the Archer class
Archer's
is
an
not all
archer.
composed of
That
Archer.
that has the same vibe of the everyone. People die when they are killed.
Yeah, Shido has some pearls, some
To say
gems.
the truth, that all the archers of fate.
No archer in Fate actually uses a bow. It's kind of amazing. I mean, Archer does use a bow sometimes, but he's not defined by the bow he uses. I mean, he
It's
kind of
not
is, but
Mapo.
it's complicated. Mapo, are you in?
It's complicated.
Can I keep going?
Oh, sorry. I'm in.
Okay. It is impossible that two such pendants would exist. If Emiya Shido held on to the pendant throughout his life, as he says, then
英霊の召喚には必ず触媒が必要となる。お前がセイバーを召喚したように、召喚者と英霊にはつながりがなくてはならない。遠坂凛には英霊を呼び出すための触媒がな
she
く、
did not.
故に彼女は呼び出したサーバントに何の縁もないと思い込んだ。
Which is impossible.
だが、偶然で呼び出される英霊などいない。召喚者と英霊には必ず物質的な縁が必要となる。
If he's right, then there can only be one answer. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. It's just that my mind has thought of a loophole, but anyway, go.
If
go
Tosaka did
on.
not have a catalyst connected to Archer, then
そう召喚者ではなく呼び出された英霊そのものが召喚者に縁のあるものを持っていた場合のみだ
the jewel is the only one of its kind. My life was saved, but I did not know who saved me. So I held on to the pendant which I thought belonged to my savior. That's the answer. If he has Tosaka's pendant, then there is only one person who he can be. Tyler Durden. Heroic spirit Emiya. The future me. I'm sorry, I'm ruining this moment, but it's so perfect. The heroic spirit before. The heroic spirit. I'm so sorry. This is an important moment, but I needed to say that. I needed to. The heroic spirit before me is Emiya Shiro, who has perfected his skills and made his ideals come true. The knight in red.
Now I'm imagining Shiro
He's just
is
facing
making
off
the
against
speech of
Brad
the
Pitt.
First rule. I'm just imagining Shiro Emiya doing the exact same speeches that Tyler Durden did.
Oh yeah, that would be
Oh my
fantastic.
Can you imagine?
This whole episode is a highlight, bro.
This
Can
whole
you
episode
imagine?
is just amazing.
Can you imagine
I
Shiro
absolutely
Emiya
can't.
putting porn in between scenes of normal movies?
No, don't worry. Archer is gonna do that in just about a couple minutes. So he's gonna do some Tyler Durden speeches right
Next
here,
time we're
right
going
now.
to make American Psycho references.
Oh man, the knight in red, Archer, looks down at me from the top of the stairs. There's no one around him. He is standing alone in this vast hall.
And by the way, another thing. What a big, like, speaking, because just a thing for everyone watching and thinking, how is he not actually surprised that the big reveal happened of this massive reveal? First, I'm still laughing about the Tyler Durden joke, and
Yep.
second, I kind of already knew that.
Yeah, Boomer kind of called it, but he also got spoiled.
Both
You fuck.
Yeah, both because there was a lot of moments where it was starting to get pretty obvious, and partly because I got the spoiler. Because thank you, people on YouTube comments. Thank you.
But yeah, no, Nasu does a great job of foreshadowing it.
Yes.
And
at the same time, you
setting it up.
don't even try to actually think that would be it, because who the heck would have this thing of summoning the future version of yourself?
Yeah, like the necessary pre-arrangements necessary for that to happen are like so insane.
But
no one would
that
ever think.
gives me a question.
Yeah.
In versions of the events similar to, for example, the Fate route,
Yeah.
what the heck will happen to Archer? Because Shiro will probably not lead into the man that Archer is.
Well, Archer
I
was
mean-
born out of a version of Shiro. It's not this version of Shiro. It's not Fate Roots Shiro.
So
But there is a
It's
consensus that
one
wait a
Shiro.
minute, wait a minute. So there is a probability that every single character, so every single servant we have seen is a alternate reality servant instead of the one we are.
Not exactly. We're gonna get an explanation from Archer about how this came to be, but the circumstances through which he got summoned into the war are very particular.
To say the truth, Zevlen, I think the same of you, but to say the truth, each timeline should be a little bit, something that has to be a little bit different. Then Nasu maybe didn't like show it, but I don't know, maybe her shoes and the some servants have a shoes different in the past or something like it.
Well,
I
you know.
mean-
I think Boomer is wrong. It's just Nasu didn't want to.
Yeah, he
change
didn't want to
it.
complicate it too much. Archer is from a particular time and place, and he's here because of the circumstances of his turning into a heroic spirit. Is it possible that alternate versions of the servants get summoned? Maybe, but you got to remember that they need to be summoned through a catalyst, and or through a personal, like, ideological connection to the summoner. Can you get artifacts from alternate versions of these people? I don't know. Maybe that's a little questionable.
Rin has.
Well,
Really?
yeah,
That
but
we
this is a very
So you're
particular.
in a different timeline.
This is a very
exactly what
particular
I'm-
case.
Zevlen. But isn't every servant like a different version of the original tales?
Well, they are. They're all clones, but there was an original at one point that got carbon copied into the
Yes.
throne.
They are clones, but there is an original. There is a Jungle Fett.
There is a Django
The
Fett.
question,
Django Fett
the
is
question, the
suspended.
situation is, the question is, are they actually clones of Jones Fett instead of Django Fett?
That's
Jones
the
Fett
that's
is
the big
twin
thing.
of-
It's implied here later that Archer is only here because of the very messy circumstances of the way he became a heroic spirit. Like, we were reading about Guardians and how if you make a contract with the world while you're living to gain power in exchange for becoming a heroic spirit, you can set terms to that, and that can have weird implications about how you're treated as a heroic spirit after death. We saw
Yeah,
saw
but
that with
there's-
Saber, she didn't do the same thing because she didn't exchange her existence for power. She already had power. But
Yeah, but there's this consensus among the fake community that Archer came from a very similar timeline
to Fate.
of Fate.
But in the
with
Fate,
the exception that there wasn't like a Archer, because if
yeah,
Archer is present in the Fate timeline, then Shiro doesn't end up becoming.
there's this idea that in Archer's time he failed to save Saber.
Because if you remember from the Fate book, Archer just keeps guiding Shiro to what to do. He basically is the reason why Shiro gets through Saber, and Saber doesn't end up in misery at the end of the Fate book.
Yeah, in Archer's time he didn't grow up. He didn't get to
He didn't save
understand
Saber.
the complexity of the situation, and then he didn't save Saber, and so he just kind of followed on his childish ideals, and that led him to become who he is now.
Yes. But at the
But
same time,
as
there's
in fact
the thing
that-
that every single route in Fate is essentially Shiro not doing that.
Well, yeah, in this time,
But
which is funny because this time it's the closest.
Archer is literally never going to be a future version of a Shiro we play.
We play exactly because he's altering
Yes,
it. His presence in time makes it impossible for him to become himself. Even though in this
which
time,
makes a stupidly big paradox.
which is interesting because in this timeline where he directly confronts Shiro at the end, Shiro is the closest that he could be to Archer. Like, he fully accepts the ideals that Archer keeps shunning. Although the difference is he actually understands what he's getting into now, and he's accepting the burden, other than just kind of going into it and becoming bitter at not getting recompense.
So there is a big paradox.
it's like the narrator in Tyler Durden.
Man, shut the fuck up! Archer accomplished the opposite of what he was trying to achieve.
It's never going to stop.
Instead of making Shiro give up, he actually strengthened Shiro's convictions in what he believes. It's very interesting. If he didn't get involved, this wouldn't have happened, and he would have become himself. But maybe something else could have happened, and he could not have become himself. It's kind of interesting.
Which has an even bigger question, because every single time Archer somehow interferes.
Yeah.
So every single time Archer makes the conscious decision somehow of deleting himself
Yeah.
from the.
I mean, Archer's plan is to kill himself, literally.
Yes, which has a big question, because how tragic is the figure of Archer of being a hero that always wants to kill himself.
No, and
Kill himself
internalize. Archer isn't even Archer. He's like an ephemeral kind of copy of the suspended in eternity Archer. Like, he doesn't even remember. He won't remember any of this after he's dead. He can't grow. Like, after this is done, he just goes back into the hell he's put himself in, of cleaning up tragedy.
He's always going to different reality. Jesus Christ!
He can't ever achieve anything. He can't ever, even if he kills himself, he's not going to stop because he's already in the throne.
Zevlen, do you understand what the heck Archer is doing?
What? Give it to me.
He's going to every different reality and always becoming some form of the hero there. He's making things right. He goes into a different timeline of which at the end of the day it's not his own, and he goes fix things. He fixed the thing. He fixed things there. In this case, he's guiding Shiro to not become him. He's leading others to a treasure he cannot possess.
At the end of the day, it's very interesting, right? Because at the end of the day, Archer...
He's doing exactly what he did in life.
In other words, he's playing meta.
Archer hates heroes and he hates heroism, but at the same time, he is directly responsible for saving the world every time. In the Fate route, he trains Shiro into being able to save the world. In this timeline, he's giving Shiro the power he needs to grow up, and in the next one he's going to do some interesting stuff as well. So he's becoming the hero that he thought he couldn't.
Every single timeline, he is the hero. He keeps being the hero.
It's the curse, and it's just like Saber's conundrum of being stuck, having changed something for somebody that isn't yourself, even if it kind of is. But you'll never live out the benefits of trying to change your past because you can't change it. Saber, even if she was able to win the Grail and kill herself, the one that did the killing would still be stuck as a heroic spirit forever, doing the world's business. And Archer, even if he did kill himself, he would still be stuck doing the world's business forever because he's already in the throne. So even if they did change their past, they would never benefit from it, and they would never experience it because they would just forget it.
They are at the end of the day put in what is a... I would not even say purgatory because they are...
It's self-inflicted.
Technically, yes. No, technically it is a purgatory because they are always repeating the same arc of the same sequence of
events.
Yeah. And you know what's funny?
Yeah.
You know what's funny?
The same sequence of change.
But he's
And at the end of the day, both of them are essentially put again on the same arc every single time, always doing something that will benefit the planet.
Yep. And you want me to drop? Do you want me to drop a revelatory bomb right now? We are doing the same thing. Every route is the repetition of the exact same 15 to 16 days, where Shiro develops and is reset into nothing, and every time he saves the world and does it again. We are living out the Archer experience. I didn't spoil shit. Shut up.
You said... Okay.
I didn't spoil anything. I gave an indication, but whatever. It's not the details. It's not the important shit.
Impressed.
We're living out the servant experience. It's really cool.
We are not living the servant experience because there's one difference. We as a player can remember what happened in the previous routes.
But Shiro
like
the
effectively.
servants don't.
Yeah,
there's a probability. There's a probability.
No, it's not a probability. It's certain.
There's a probability because we don't know how often.
True.
Because for example, there is a probability at the end of the day that Archer was dropped in 2 sets, pretty much identical of this Holy Grail War, and has done the exact same thing in both of
There's
them.
a probability that Archer's done
And
this a
he
million
doesn't
times
know
before.
that. Yes, that he's essentially replaying the exact sequence of events and doing the better things for that version of Earth. Jesus Christ,
He-
what a weird.
He
And
is
all
he
of
is stuck
that
here
because
forever.
a
Like
specific.
Fate
And
Route
let's
ends in
remember
success.
I remember all of that because there is a god or living embodiment of Earth across different realities that always pulls uses its own power to correct itself across different realities
It's insane.
using assets
To say
from
the
different
truth,
realities.
It's so crazy. It's amazing. It's so cool.
To
What
say
the
the,
heck is going on with Fake
to say the
Universe?
truth,
This is
Archer,
utter madness.
Utter
to say the
madness.
truth, Archer
Completely
is
unhinged.
literally-
Zevlen, is there free will in this universe?
No,
Jesus
it's
Christ.
an illusion. I mean, is there? At the end of the day, at the micro level, sure, but like not really. Like when you get into Rakyo, like your life
They are all-
is
all-
fundamentally driven by
all-
your origin, which is decided by the root anyway.
Yes.
So there's
They're
no
either
there's
going
no
to
like
be
real.
done- They are either going to be irrelevant or they're going to be pawns at the end of the day to stop the few ones that can actually do something, like Kotomi and Kire, that try to change, that then are going to be put down by the planet using effectively the pieces.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it all comes
Jesus
back to that
Christ.
theme of not being able to change your past, because you just don't have the
Exactly.
agency to.
Zevlen.
Look, you can live out your
Zevlen.
life in the best way that you can, but you can't change it. Fundamentally,
Zevlen.
you can't go back and fix
Is
your mistakes.
Kotomi and Kire the hero of fate?
Oh my God, no,
Oh my-
no.
Because he's the only one. He's the only one.
Oh
that is
my
trying to
God,
actually
he
do
cracked
something
heaven's
that is
will.
changing their route. He's
And
the only one that is.
hero of
He's
fate.
the only one. He's the only one in this story that is not being somehow manipulated by the root.
Well, Kira, that is
He's
not
the
true though.
Why
but
not?
You'll see.
The root.
You'll see.
Wait, no,
He's not
I
being
want to make a
necessarily
question.
manipulated by the
always
root.
goes for the-
He
Wait a
might
minute.
be.
The root always goes for the
He
most
just
stable thing for
accepted his
itself.
fate, bro.
It's just it's different things. The root and the planet and the soul of humanity are different things. Like they
Why
they
are there
coexist.
differences?
They coexist, but it's complicated. And maybe at the end of the day, I mean, Kotomina is a human just like anything else. He has an origin, and the origin impels him to act in certain ways. So his destructive impulse is still mandated by like the genetic code of his meta existence. One day he'll die and he'll reincarnate as another destructive beast, maybe an animal, maybe a tree, maybe a wind,
Maybe a tree, a very
or maybe just some other guy.
destructive tree.
And he's going to do the same thing. He tries to subvert the order of reality,
Just the thing, Zevlen.
but
just
it
the
gets
thing.
corrected
I
at the
think
end. So.
Kotomi Kire is never going to be reincarnated a tree because he's too aggressive to become
No,
a tree
he'll
race.
become one of those like carnivorous plants that eats flies in the Amazon.
But even then, 'cause a plant is stationary. A plant is always going to be stationary. No way that Kotomi Kire would want to be stationary.
True. He'll revolt
fit
against
with
existence and be the first moving plant.
Yes. But then we have a question: is Kotomi Kire grabbing any chance he has to have some power of what we could define as free will? In and
Somehow.
of itself.
Somehow he's not really searching for free will. He's searching for change. Not even change. He wants chaos, right? He wants people to see people at the very tail end of their ability to handle existence. He wants to make people suffer so much that he can finally enjoy life by completely subverting the natural order of existence. And so, like, it's not really that he wants free will. He just wants things to not be the way they are in, like, the most fundamental way possible. And the fast track to doing that is manipulating the true nature of the Grail, which has been hinted at the end of Fate Route, right? When we see the black stuff seeping out in the exposition about that Kotomina puts out. It hasn't really been fully revealed yet. It's very complicated. It's very interesting. So Kino, dude. Fate Stay Night, bro. Fate Stay Night, bro.
Okay, I can definitely say
I think
Kotomine Kirei. Okay. So now we have arrived at one conclusion.
Mm.
Fate is definitely not Fight Club.
I wouldn't say that, but
Okay,
I would.
Why?
I can't explain
Where
it.
is predestination
I'm not gonna
Fight Club?
spoil
Please
Fight Club.
answer
I'm not
me.
gonna spoil Fight Club.
But
Unlimited.
why Fight Club is predestined?
It's
Zalman,
complicated, but whatever.
answer me a question.
Yes.
There is someone in Fight Club that is the slave of his own wish.
Yes.
Okay. So we have an archer there.
They're actually seriously, like without any intention of spoiling anything. Fight Club's main characters and Fate Stay Night's main characters are very thematically similar to each other. They just like turn out in a very different way. But there's a through line here. Like for real. I'm not joking. This is serious.
For real.
For real.
God.
I swear.
Real.
Like
Do you think like
we are getting real, ladies and gentlemen.
Just-
We are
I'm 100% serious. Like this is straight. This scene is very reminiscent of the closing 20 minutes of Fight Club.
you guys think like Fight Club is the live action of Fate Stay Night?
Yes.
Oh my god.
No. Wait, who would be Tyler Durden in that situation? Wait, oh no, Tyler Durden is
Gilgamesh.
Oh my
Tyler
god.
Durden is Kotomine Kirei.
But let's keep on going.
I think. Wait, Zevlen. Who do you think Kotomine Kirei is? Tyler Durden or Gilgamesh? No. Who do you think Tyler Durden is? Kotomine Kirei or Gilgamesh?
Tyler Durden is very reminiscent of both Kirei and Archer. But I won't elaborate further. He's similar to them in different ways.
God, what?
Archer's pretty much living in a nihilistic existence.
気に病むのなら急げ。お前が来るのが遅いの
Guys, I think we have a
先に来た
problem.
的を信じにくれてやった
What is this?
The problem is that Archer left Shinji alone with Tosaka.
Tosaka can
Oh,
break.
okay,
Can
well,
break.
Oh,
him in
can
half
she though?
time. She's
But
Then
in,
Shinji? You know what Shinji's gonna do? To Tosaka.
in the
Very-
research,
At the least, for what I have seen, Tosaka can probably protect herself.
We'll find out.
It's
She's
tied up,
she's
man.
tied up on both ends to a chair. Well, let's hope
Oh, yeah,
that
that's
Shido
a
can
fair
get
point.
done with this fast, right? Because that's a pretty shitty
Wait,
situation.
Can't Saber just run at the vicinal direction of Shinji?
where's the
She
saber?
could.
She could.
Wait a minute. Isn't Saber now the servant of Tosaka?
She is. I mean, kind
Can't
of.
Saber know where her master is?
Not necessarily.
If she has a strong connection, she can have a feeling. Let's say this.
They have a feeling when the lives of their masters are actively in danger. Right, like when
Yeah,
they're
and
about
it-
to die.
What does constitute danger?
About to die. That's what we've seen at least.
I don't know. Do you consider like sexual harassment danger?
I don't know.
Yeah,
She's not necessarily
that is
going to
a
be
question.
near death, right? Because last time we saw Saber feeling Shido's presence was when Kotomine like actually left him like 5 seconds away from dying on the basement of the church, next to all his friends.
But it's like you can sense her physical death or her psychological one.
Well, I guess we'll find out as this
technically
unfolds.
technically is not even in still a psychological death. It would be it would be like losing an arm, or maybe
I don't know. We'll
like
find
they're
out.
still recovering from that.
It depends on the person.
Oh, Shido knows what's happening.
お前との約束は守っている。俺は手出しはせん。他の人間が彼女に何をしようが。
Man, fuck. Archer is such a prick. Son of a bitch.
まあ、結果は見えているがな。マト真司は遠坂凛に情欲と敵害を抱いている。あれに凛を預ければどうなるかは
To think, it's kind of insane that Archer would sink this low. Like, he's so desperate. He's so desperate to kill Shido this time around. He completely, like, lets go of everything. Of all of his humanity. He just doesn't care anymore.
Maybe he lost them a long time ago.
And it's crazy because he only helps Shido because he knows that he can't fight him, like, in the Fate route, because he's fucked. Like, he's halfway dead, literally. And maybe Rin was able to get through to him more because she didn't pry as much, perhaps. I don't know. Like, this time, Shido was able to get a pretty solid relationship with Saber exactly because he didn't pry into her personal life. So maybe Rin that time didn't get as invested because she wasn't as invested in Shido. And she never incensed his rage, maybe. I don't know. But this time,
I don't
he's
know,
like...
it's pretty sad because in the previous route, Archer died for Rin.
It's true. Maybe he knew that he didn't have another shot. Maybe the weakness that was inflicted on him made him reconsider his priorities.
Yeah, so desperate to, like, take revenge on himself for taking this path.
Because when he knows he has less of a shot and he sees Saber and Shido becoming a stronger duo, he has to, like, think, well, what am I going to do now? I kind of care about Rin. Because at the end of the day, they were friends, even in his time, right?
Yeah.
So
No, friends no. He has a crush on her?
he did, I mean...
Actually, perhaps more because it's implied that Archer had a lover.
Well, it's implied that Archer had a lover, but that's not necessarily... I mean, I would think that it might be. It was implied at the end of the Fate route that Shido and Rin had something going on.
It couldn't have been Saber because Archer didn't break through the
Wait a minute. Let's not use the ends of Fate Stay Night of any route as model for Archer because he's from a completely different version of all that.
But anyway...
Completely is kind of an exaggeration.
After a certain point is very different.
In any case...
It is.
I believe that the Archer isn't the same because he can be like from another timeline and things on the timeline go a little bit different, and that's why he wore.
Well, it is implied in his relationship with Rin
Hero.
this time and last time and next time that he did feel at least some sort of friendly love towards her. And that's why this is so shocking, because he's set.
Maybe at the end of the day, it is even just a little bit of nostalgia per se. Like he is protecting something from his
far past,
years.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, from the days he was happy.
But it is very shocking to see Archer just gone so far into his, like, mad desperation.
Oh yeah.
That he would be willing to do this. Yeah.
Whatever.
I get pissed off. How can he say such a thing so calmly? Lancer out to save the day.
Boy, I don't trust that dude. I don't trust.
Hey, remember that
Why
Lancer
not?
really cares about Rin. He gets upset when she gets hurt.
Lancer could still be at
A double agent.
Yes, it could still be following orders from Kotominikeri. I do not trust him.
We'll see.
Bro,
He is
he
very
promised.
cool.
He promised to stay.
He did swear an oath, and Cullen's oaths were serious, bro. Man was not fucking around. Or boy.
When it comes to women, this man is serious.
This man is serious.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, that's a fair counterpoint.
It's an order from my master. My entire reason for joining was to keep that girl from dying. Maybe a certain someone expected Iliasville to die, right? So they needed a second battery. Plan B. With those words,
Lancer is lying.
Lancer ignores Archer and heads to the west terrace.
これはあくまで俺の趣味だ。まあ、今までいけすかねえ命令ばっかりだったからな。この命令は最後まで守り抜く。
あ、遠坂を頼む。
He lightheartedly replies with a yes. Then Lancer stops and turns around as if he remembered something.
おい、何してんだセイバー。お前も来るんだよ。
Saber lowers her eyes painfully.
いいえ、私はここに残りま
Saber's
す。
gonna give
ランサー。
Shido some emotional support.
She's about to take his shirt off. You can do it, you can do it, you can do it.
She stands next to me and replies unlike a servant.
本気か？今のマスターはお嬢ちゃんだろ？サーバントが守るべきはマスターだけのはずだが。
分かっています。ですが、それでも私はここに残りたい。
Maybe she knows,
そうかよ。なら好きにしな。
right?
You know
Without
what?
Shido having to tell her, she knows that this is her conflict. She can see it, and she's going through some coping right now. Lancer leaves because it is right. She too wants to stop her own existence, go back and fix her mistakes.
Buddy, Zevlen, please don't say that she is coping right now, please.
Copium.
Don't say that. Saber is
Extreme
coping.
copium. High on copium.
This episode is too weird.
This episode
Saber
is
is also on Fight Club.
this whole episode is a highlight. This is like
Man,
This
Stop.
whole episode is weird.
a Lancer leaves. He easily jumps to the terrace and disappears into the passageway. Archer does not do anything. It's as if he's saying Tosaka is useless now. I step over the rubble and walk forward. I'm heading to the center of the room at the foot of the stairs. Forcing down her emotions, Saber stands still to watch over our battle.
手出しはしないか。それはありがたい。
Guys,
ここまで来てセイバーに邪魔をされるようでは、リンと契約を切った意味がないからな。
does Shido have a chance? Is the real question.
Buddy, I've seen worse matchups and
It's the
and
plot
people-
armor.
Hey man,
I'm gonna-
a man's greatest enemy
The
is
main
himself.
the
Right.
main character can be defeated.
A man's greatest
I've
enemy
seen
is himself.
Worse odds, and I've seen this man win it.
He does have the sheath.
He
with
does
him,
have
and
the sheath,
Saber
it's
is next to him, so
He has some support there. I can hear Saber's hesitation. Saber takes a quick breath and replies to the man at the top of the stairs.
ええ、私は手出しはしません。何があろうと、あなたと白の戦いの邪魔はしない。
Good old
I
fashioned
mean,
duel then.
now the effects of the sheath are amplified because Saber has
She has
Rings
the
magic.
the real magical input, yeah.
それは結構。ならば安心して。
はい。ですが、その代わりに一つだけ答えてほしい。
Why are you trying to kill your past self?
なぜも何もないだろう。そいつが俺を認められ
A
ない。
paradox.
俺もそいつを
As it
認
were.
められないだけだよ。
そん
And
なは
he's
ずはない。
helping him.
That is a
あなたは
very
白だ。
interesting thing
エミやシロ
because
という
this is
人
a
物の理
very
想、
affair.
英雄となった姿が
If
あ
I
なたではな
recall
いのですか。
correctly, Back to the Future was
ならどうしてこん
created
な自
essentially
分を殺すような真似をするの
as
で
the
す。
question of if you went back in time and knew your father, would you become friends? I find it interesting that Nasu took a different approach to if you knew yourself back in time, would you genuinely have a desire to kill yourself, to kill your previous self?
Yeah, it's kind of wild, like how different you are from who you were after your life takes a left turn, right? Literally, in
Yes, and
Archer's
how-
case,
and how
physically
much-
different.
Bitterness can be there.
Yeah.
なぜそう思う？未熟だった頃のエミヤ素人。エミヤと呼ばれる英雄となった俺は別の存在だ。そうでなければ同時に存在などできないんだ。
それはあなたがサーバントになったからでしょ。時間軸にとらわれない守護者になったのなら、自身が生きた時代に呼ばれることもあると聞きます。あなたはシローだ。シローがずっと思い描いて、
No, he
その
is.
努力が叶った姿があなたのはずだ。
It's just a tough life.
どうして
Archers of
She finishes in a broken voice. Why are you so different? Oh man, Fate Stay Night moment.
It's going
my
to be. It's time for the monologue.
Not responding, he starts down the stairs. He cannot answer that question. If he were able to, he would not be fighting here.
Archer.
This is a real Nasu moment, guys. Saber steps forward to confront
いい
Archer.
んだセイバーいいから下がっていてくれ
I stop her with my hand and keep her at the entrance.
ですがシロ
気持ちは嬉しいけど話しても無駄だあいつは初めから俺を殺すことだけが目的だったんだから
Saber bites her lip in frustration. She stares at me and then at Archer.
なぜなのですアーチャー私にはわからない守護者とは死後英霊となって人間を守るものと聞いたその英霊がなぜ自分自身を殺そうなどと考えるのか
守護者
Maybe something she said got through to him. He stops and looks down at Saber without emotion.
違うよセイバー守護者は人間を守るものではないあれはただの掃除屋だ俺が望んでいた英雄などでは断じてない
Oh, that's great.
His voice sounds
Oh.
different. Oh, do you want to say anything? Sorry.
Now you can keep up.
I just want to comment on the fact that Nasu is the themes of Fate Stay Night are really clear to me.
Yeah.
Nasu is basically saying, give up on your dreams. Only pussy can save you.
Yeah. To say
Yeah.
the truth, what I want to say that Archer is so twisted that now, when he was a kid, he wanted to be a hero, and now he's saying, I just want to kill that hero inside of me.
Yeah. Hatred and
Heroes
scorn.
are,
Feel it now.
heroes are fucking... Oh my god.
俺は確かに英雄になったエミヤシロという男が望んでいたように
And I think there's
正義
some
の味方にな
there's some Nietzsche connections there because the power that he had was not his own, right? He contracted with the world to gain power, and with that came the cost of having to be the cleaner.
Are you talking about the willpower of Nietzsche?
No, it's like... Because it is power that does not belong to you. So
He didn't make his
Yeah.
own power,
Oh,
right?
the reward is that, how do you say that in English? It's proportional to the effort put in it. So Archer basically bought power. It does not belong to him. So now he has to deal with the consequences of this contract.
The thing is, it makes him bitter because this is what he signed into, but he didn't want to sign into this, even though he wanted the benefits. It's kind of it's complex. It's a shame, really, but a superhero, someone who will not harm anyone, someone who will not retreat no matter what disaster he may face, someone who can save everyone, someone Emiya Shiro wanted to become, and that man became such a person.
アーチャー
ああ確かにいくらかの人間を救ってきたさ
Wait a minute. Let me think of something. Is the thing that angers Archer so much about the superhero the fact that even before the contract with the world, he was never truly being able to stop the suffering he saw on the fire?
Well, he'll talk about it. You'll be able to deconstruct that.
Damn. Am I just, or did I just catch that early?
You'll see.
自分にできる範囲で多くの理想を叶えてきたし世界の危機とやらを救ったこともあったよ英雄と遠い昔から憧れていた地位にさえ
英雄にたどり着いたならシローは報われたのですね少なくともここにいるあなたはエミやシローの理想を叶えられたのでしょならあなたには悔いなどないはずだシローはちゃんとその理想を叶えたのだから
There's no conviction in her voice. She already knows. She knows that she is the one only voicing her own wish.
理想を叶えたか 確かに俺は理想通りの正義の味方とやらになったさ。だがその果てに得たものは後悔だけだった。殺して殺して殺し尽くした己の理想を貫くために多くの人間を殺して、無関係な人間の命だぞ、どうでもよくなるくらい殺して、殺した人間の数千倍の人々を救ったよ。
Saber stares at Archer, speechless. She looks like someone who saw her own mirror image.
そう。そんなことを何度繰り返したかわからないんだ。俺は求められれば何度でも戦ったし、争いがあると知れば死をとして戦った。何度も何度も、思い出せないほど何度もだ。だって仕方がないだろう。何を救おうと救われない人間というものが出てきてしまう。何度戦いを終わらせようと新しい戦いは生み出される。そんなものがある限り正義の味方っていうのはあり続けるしかないんだから。
Who did he direct that to? The knight slowly descends the stairs and recounts his past.
だから殺したよ。一人を救うために何十という人間の願いを踏みにじってきた。何十という人間の救いを殺して、目に見えるものだけの救いを生かして、より今度こそ終わりだと、今度こそ誰も悲しまないだろうと、つまらない意地を張り続けた。だが終わることなどなかった。生きている限り争いはどこに行っても目についた。キリがなかった。何も争いのない世界なんてものを夢見ていたわけじゃない。ただ俺はせめて自分が知り得る限りの世界では誰に。
That is definitely my own wish.
一人を救えばそこから視野は広がってしまうんだ。一人の次は10人、10人の次は100人、100人の次は、さて何人だったか。そこでようやく悟ったよ。
それはなぜ？
分かりきったことを聞くな、セイバー。君ならば何度も経験したことだろう。全ての人間を救うことはできない。国を救うためにほんの少しの人間を見殺しにするなんていうのは日常茶飯事だっただろう。
The quiet voice is rendered powerless to object. The words of the Red Knight are Saber's darkness as well.
そう、席は限られている。幸福という椅子は常に全体の数より少なめでしか用意されない。その場にいる全員を救うことなどできないから、結局誰かが犠牲になる。それを被害を最小限に抑えるために、いずれこぼれる人間を速やかに1秒でも早くこの手で切り落とした。それが英雄と、その男が理想と信じる正義の味方の取るべき行動だ。
The wish for nobody to become sad, the desire to save as many people as possible. When the two coexist and contradict each other, there is only one solution. The only people a superhero can save are the people he sides with. If one is to lose everything by trying to save everything, it is correct to sacrifice one to save more.
多くの人間を救うというのが正義の味方だろ。だから殺した。誰も死なさないようにと願ったまま、大勢のために一人には死んでもらった。誰も悲しまないようにと口にして、その陰で何人かの人間には絶望を抱かせた。そのうちそれにも慣れてきてね。理想を守るために理想に反し続けた。自分が助けようとした人間しか救わず、敵対した者は速やかに皆殺しにした。犠牲になる誰かを容認することで かつての理想を守り続けた。それがこの俺、英雄エミヤの正体だ。そら、そんな男は今のうちに死んだ方が世のためと思わないか？
That's right. The only ones a superhero can save are the people he sides with. But who was it that defied those words?
それは嘘です。たとえそうなったとしても、あなたならばその誰かを自分にして理想を追い続けたのではないですか？
The knight stops for a second. A frown crosses his face.
あなたは理想に反したのではない。守ったはずの理想に裏切られ、道を見失っただけではないのですか？そうでなければ、こんな自分を殺すことで罪を償おうなどとは思わない。
His ironic smile disappears after coldly staring at Saber. He starts laughing like a madman, as if it's the funniest thing he's heard.
いや、これは傑作だ。俺が自分の罪を償う。バカなことを言うなよ、セイバー。償うべき罪などないし、他の誰にもそんな無責任なものを押し付けた覚えはない。
The knight calmly goes mad. He spoke in a small voice, but his laughter echoes through the hall.
ああ、そうだったよ、セイバー。確かに俺は何度も裏切られ、欺かれた。救ったはずの男に罪をかぶせられたこともある。死ぬ思いで争いを収めてみれば、争いの張本人だと押し付けられて、最後には公主代だ。そうだ、俺に罪があるというのなら、その時点で償っているだろう。
嘘だ、アーチャー。あなたの最後は。
まあそういうことだ。だがそんなことはどうでもよかった。初めから干渉してほしかったわけじゃない。英雄などともてはやされる気もなかった。俺だが、それが叶えられたことはない。生前もその死後。
He has stopped laughing. There's only hatred in his voice now.
守護者とは霊長の存命のみを優先する無職の力だ。力は高きところにありて、人の世が滅亡する可能性が生じれば世に下る。それがただの奴隷であることは知っていた。死後、己が存在を守護者に預けた者は輪廻の枠から外れ、無と同意になるのだと。それでも誰かを救えるのならそれでいい。かつてのエミヤ四郎はその誓いを守れなかった。なら守護者となって人間の滅亡とやらを食い止める一端になるのならそれでいいと思ったんだ。だが実際は違う。守護者は人など救わない。守護者がすることはただの掃除だ。すでに起きてしまったこと、作られてしまった人間の業を、それは人を救うのではなく、
Guardians
世
are
界に害を与え
effectively
る
the
だ
white
ろう
cells
人
of the
々を
body.
Yeah.
They just kill the bad
なく
stuff.
なくすだけ。
Yeah, pretty much. They make it so that humanity can't be destroyed. They don't save people, they save mankind. It's very different. Right? Two very different things.
Yeah, there's this whole conflict.
絶望と無関係に生を謳歌する部外者を救うために。
Yeah, there's this whole conflict within basically like getting the difference of individual self and the whole.
Yeah. The old utilitarian conflict, right?
Yeah, this theme is echoed in the Fate Root. If you remember, Saber losing her personhood for an utilitarian concept of sacrificing her own self for the greater good.
Yeah. And we see that at the end of the day, maybe because she wasn't as committed as Shiro, or maybe just because it's normal, she too, even if she was able to sacrifice herself to save everyone, she regretted it so strongly, right? And it's a difficult thing. It's a difficult thing, really, to kind of come to terms with. And Archer obviously didn't. He wasn't able to. So.
馬鹿げた話だ。それが今までの俺と何が違う。
It sucks though. Like, man, the man dedicated his life to trying to save people in difficult situations, and then he got betrayed by the people he saved.
Because at the same time he was, to a certain degree, at the end of the day, kind of, by what he even said, partially creating those conflicts.
I mean, of course, he's the one.
He was always,
what is a hero but a man that kills many?
He was always,
right?
He was always charging. He was always doing like Shiro did in the story, always charging in to protect someone without thinking of the consequences of an action.
A hero in a war is someone that remarkably is very good at killing. It's always been that way, like in the old legends as in now. You read Le Mort d'Arthur and you see like the records of King Arthur killing 940 people in a battle by himself. And that's great.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I don't know if this is in Art of War by Sun Tzu, but I remember seeing somewhere that a man that strives for peace needs to be the best at war to do the former.
And it's difficult for someone that has an actual sense of morality to come to terms with that fact. That if you're trying to be a hero at war, you're picking a side.
I would think there's something even else aside from morality in the situation. Because Archer is always trying to... How can I describe it?
It's such a difficult situation, Archer's.
He's trying to avoid the burning that he saw when he was a child, when Kotominekire desired for the death.
Yeah.
He's always wanting to avoid that. He's always trying to avoid that by making everyone around him not sad. But that is impossible.
Yeah, it's just the way that the world works.
You can, yes, and again, like, so he's not truly so. It's not that he's a striving peace. He's striving to run away from his own trauma.
It's difficult. It's difficult to hate Archer because even though he's a fucking asshole, and he's absolutely debasing himself, like deep into like animal territory.
Right now I'm thinking something. He's arguing that the guardians don't truly protect people. They kill people. But everything he's done, this entirety of this war, was trying to kill Shiro.
Yeah.
Everything he's trying to do was trying to kill the greatest memento of his trauma. He's basically trying to wipe his trauma from his memory.
And most importantly, he's faced with this dilemma. It's like Saber said. Maybe he doesn't want to admit it, but the thing is, the ideal isn't evil. It's beautiful, right? The hope.
Because he's not trying to.
The desire to help people is great. It comes with this provision.
He looks like he's barely even going in the direction of the ideal. He just wants to stop to make everyone happy. He just wants to not to see people
suffer. That's not an intrinsically. That's not a bad thing. The problem is that it comes with at the cosmic level. Because when you become super powerful, right, you're not operating at the community like my neighbor is hungry and I can buy her food level. You're operating at the world scale of people killing each other for ambiguous reasons, and it comes with the provision of you having to do some terrible shit. And the problem with Archer is that he can't come to terms with it, right? He can't get past that.
Another thing, if I recall correctly, is the concept of entropy. This universe is always
In chaos,
It's
there's always some problem.
Yes.
Humanity
No,
can't
not
get
even
past the
chaos.
problem.
It's always going to be imperfect. There was always someone miserable. There was always someone at the bottom.
Yeah.
There is always someone bad.
The ultimate.
At the end of the day, the heroes that are the most famous, they are most high regarded, are the ones that understood that and played to making that the fewest people imaginable could be the ones that are actually suffering. The fewest people.
And it comes with
Archer
the problem.
doesn't do that. Archer tries always to make that number go to 0 because he's not truly trying to make the world a better place. He's trying to make his surroundings a better place.
It's difficult. Yeah, he's not. He's been faced now. He put himself. He chose. He's still a child running away from his trauma. Exactly. He chose to embody the problems of the world, but he wasn't ready for it. And when he's faced with the reality of actually having to make people not suffer at the cosmic scale, he isn't able to accept that there's going to be a very big personal cost that he's just going to have to accept. It's just like Saber. Saber went on this existential disaster trip because she wasn't able to accept that she had to do bad things, and now that she has to move on from that, and then, either live with the fact that the way she thinks has these problems, or change the way she thinks. Now, Archer, sadly, because of his decision, is forever stuck never being able to grow out of his problem. And so we have the only option that he has now is to allow Shido to be convicted in his ideals enough to accept that he's going to have to do bad things at some point and not become Archer. That's the only way out.
What I would question in this entire story is the fact that Saber and Archer were pretty much in the same situation of seeing how the world is an impossible place. No, is a place where it's impossible to have a
perfect justice. We'll call it that.
Yeah, a perfect justice. But at the same time, Saber still tried to fight in a way that was she still acted accordingly. She still acted like a hero would.
Yeah.
Archer still feels like a child.
Yeah.
He
wasn't able to.
Child running away from his.
It comes back to that theme of growing up and accepting what you've done and then moving on, in either living with that acceptance or changing it. He hasn't able to grow up yet.
Yes,
he hasn't been able to do that.
He pretty much developed his ideal of becoming a superhero out of one sheer, I guess it would be the feeling of being in debt both to what is the name of his dad again?
Kiritsugu.
Of still being in debt to Kiritsugu, of still being in debt to the people that died during the fire.
Yeah.
He developed that pretty much a kind of debt that he needs to pay, and the escape module of I can run away from that from the miserable situation by trying with all my forces to avoid it.
Yeah.
It's pretty much him not even coping, it's him running away.
Yeah.
Escape module.
Yeah. The thing is, then the solution becomes Shido now at this juncture of UBW has chosen to keep on going with his ideal. The point that Archer was making before was that his ideals were fake, that they were imported. That they were imported from Kiritsugu, right? So, what needs to happen for Archer not to happen is for Shido to actually believe what he's doing. For him to make those ideals something that he's actually committed to. Right? That he actually believes in, that are his ideals, not his dad's ideals, not his debt's ideals, not his coping mechanism, but something he's actually dedicated to and actually prepared to face. That the trade for power that he's doing with the world isn't born out of immaturity, but instead out of a place of like actual belief and security in what he believes. It's complicated. It's interesting. Just give me 1 sec. I'll pause because I need to check something. Okay, we're back.
But again, okay, which point were you, Zevlen?
Oh no, I made my point, and that got
Just
recorded.
repeat the last moment. Repeat the last thing.
Oh no, what I'd
follow.
said was that Archer hadn't matured yet. He's complaining about Shido that his ideal is borrowed or stolen from Kiritsugu, that he doesn't actually believe in it, that it's just a coping mechanism, which it is. So the way
Yes.
for Shido to solve this while keeping convicted in his beliefs is to actually believe them, is to own them, and to become responsible enough that he's able to live out those costs that he's going to have to face, unlike Archer, who never actually matured into really believing what he's doing to the point that he wasn't uncomfortable with the realities of what he did, where he wouldn't put himself into a contract with the world immaturely just to get some power to do things that were way out of his league, right? If Shido now understands the full depth and complications of his ideals and then accepts them, then he solved the problem, because it's not a coping mechanism at that point anymore. It's actually something that he's willing to do, right?
Wait a minute, Zevlen. Please pause for a second again.
Yeah, no problem. There's no difference. There was just more despair. He relied on a greater power since his powers alone were not enough, but it ended up being the same. He thought the power would make his wish come true, but it only made him do the same things on a greater scale.
あーちゃん、あなたはずっとそんなことを。
それも慣れたよ。人間は繰り返す。どんな時代でも強者が弱者を奪い尽くすのだ。そしてそれが最も効率のいい繁栄だと思い知らされた。ああ、何度も見てきた。意味のない殺戮も、意味のない平等も、意味のない幸福も、俺自身が拒んでも見せられた。守護者となった俺にはもはや自分の意志などない。ただ人間の意志によって生み出され。
That is where he ended up. A being that repairs the damage caused by human desire. Guardians do not save people, rather they eliminate those who cannot be saved as if they never existed. Over and over, for many times he saw people merely destroy themselves through their own actions, and he burned them down like trash each time. Save as many people as possible. The man became a hero with that one wish, but in the end he could not make it come true even once.
そうだ。それは違う。俺が望んだものはそんなことではなかった。
Except he did make the choice. He just wasn't ready for it. It was an immature miscalculation.
And to a certain degree, it's not even that.
It kind of is what he wished for, though.
It's at the same time what he wished. It's at the same time what he wished for, and at the same time it's not.
True.
It's both.
It comes
Because
with what he wished for on that scale. Comes with some problems. He wasn't ready for
It
it.
is a monkey's paw first. It's a monkey's paw per se.
Oh, sure.
Yes, you wish for that, but yes, it's going to bite you.
Yeah. He just wasn't convicted
In the
enough
butt.
in it to be able to deal with the pressure, right? And it overcame him, which is understandable. Like, a normal person, of course, wouldn't be able to deal with this. But, I mean, when you make yourself a superhero, can you be a normal person? It's a difficult thing to think about. Saber couldn't. She gave up her personal existence.
I would argue Saber actually could really better than Archer.
Oh, she did.
Even then.
Better than Archer, sure. But she also did give up her personal existence. She stopped being a normal person. She became an embodiment.
But at the same time, yeah, fair enough.
By her own design. It wasn't forced on her, she chose to. She was more prepared than Archer for taking this choice, but she wasn't all the way prepared either. She did have her fall. but she was still in a place where she could be saved, right? Shiro was able to convince Saber that she was wrong in regretting what she did. Archer can't be saved anymore. Like, he's way past the finish line. Like, far gone.
Partially because he's going. He already went partially insane.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, he's totally gone. And even if he could be, he can't anymore. Like, if this Archer was saved, the Archer that gets summoned everywhere isn't going to be saved. There is no more chance for him. He's gone.
I want to make a question that is the Archer of the Fate route saved?
I don't think so. You can't save him anymore. He's already in the throne. He gets summoned everywhere. He can't learn, he can't grow. He's just there. That Archer, that clone of Archer that existed for the time he was alive in the Fate route, might have seen something better. He surely did, because he grew past trying to kill Shido and placed other things in his priorities. But it was impermanent. He made it so that he can never be saved, because he chose to become a guardian. It's pretty fucked. He signed himself into this. It's bad, man. It sucks. Archer's conundrum is terrible. It's like, it's the worst. Nobody deserves this, right? But
it is a monkey's paw at the end of the day.
Yep.
No.
俺はそんなもののために死傷者になどなったのではない。
Man,
and ironically enough, it's exactly what he became.
Exactly. His anger is probably directed at himself. What is standing there is a worn-out corpse. The hero Emiya is doomed to always see the ugliness of those he wanted to save. He grew to hate them in the end. He grew to hate humans for repeating conflicts. He grew to hate himself for thinking that humans are sacred.
俺は人間の後始末など真っ平だ。だが守護者となった以上、この輪から抜け出す術はない。そう、ただ一つの例外を除いて。
Murderous intent flares in his cold eyes. He isn't looking at Saber. There's only one objective for Archer, to kill his own self. But even if he dies, the real body of Emiya, who is in the place outside of the cycle and not bound by time, will not disappear. There is no elimination for Guardians. They're nothing to start with. They're outside of the cycle of death and rebirth, right? They're not existent. If they were, they would be in it. It's meaningless to kill something that is not part of the real world, but there is one way for him to disappear. If someone who is to become a hero is killed before he does so, that hero will never come into existence. But only in this time. Ultimately, it's the same thing that happened with Saber. She would destroy one Artoria, right? But not all of them. Not herself, fundamentally, which is what she wanted to accomplish. Therefore,
白をここで殺すというのですか。
man versus man.
そうだ。その機会だけを待ち続けた。果てしなくゼロに近い確率だ。だが、それにかけた。そう思わなければ自身を許容できなかった。ただその時だけを希望にして、俺は守護者などというものを続けてきた。
それは無駄です、アーチャー。あなたはすでに守護者として存在しているのでしょう。ならもう遅い。今になって
found out. She figured it out.
消滅させたところで、あなた自身は消えはしない。
そうかもしれん。だが、可能性のない話ではあるまい。過去の改ざんだけでは通じないだろうが、それが自身の手によるものならば、矛盾は大きくなる。歪みが大きければ、あるいは、ここでエミヤという英雄は消滅する。
Which is an assumption based on nothing, right?
それにな、セイバー。俺はこの時だけを待って守護者を続けてきたのだ。これはただの八つ当たりだ。くだらぬ理想の果てに道化となり果てる。 エミヤシロという小僧へのな。
And the knight in red comes down to the hall. Only Archer and I stand in the hall filled with rubble. There's nothing separating us. The reason is simple. He wants to kill me, and I just want to beat him up because I don't like him. I walk to the center of the hall. I won't be able to back out.
This feels like a lie. This feels like a lie, Shiro says.
Oh, definitely.
He only wants to beat him up.
I just want to beat him up because I don't like him. Look at his face. He looks like a piece of shit. I won't be able to back out once I take out a few more steps. But before that,
アーチャー、お前、
ooh,
後悔してるのか?
brutal. There's one thing I have to ask him.
無論だ。俺。いや、お前は正義の味方になどなるべきではなかった。
He spits those words out, and that dispels my last doubts.
そうか。それじゃあ、やっぱり俺たちは別人だ。
Looks like my man learned a thing or two about himself with
Yes.
Rin, right?
Just a question, Zevlen.
Yep.
Is the fight going to start right now? Right now?
I don't remember. It might.
Because depending on how big this fight is, we probably need to end it right now.
Okay. I don't know. I'm gonna save, and we'll see. Depending on what happens. It might be
Oh.
that it cuts to an interlude of what happens to Rin, and that's short. So depending on what happens, we'll cut it out, or we won't.
Okay.
Let's give it that.
何？
俺は後悔なんてしないぞ。どんなことになったって後悔だけはしない。
He learned that with Rin.
絶対にお前のことも認めない。
So he did it, right?
お前が俺の理想だって言うんなら、そんな間違った理想は俺自身の手で
My man
叩き出
grew
す。
up. That's how I've been living up to now. I've always believed that I'm right. As he says, I'm sure it's full of false courage and distortion. I've lost more than I've gained, but it's all the more reason why. I cannot withdraw for the sake of the things I've lost. I walk forward. My circuit has already been started sketching the blueprint in my mind.
その考えがそもそもの元凶なのだ。お前もいずれ俺に追いつく時が来る。
来ない。そんなもん絶対に来るもんか。
はあ。それはつまり、その前にここで俺に殺されるということか。
I take a step towards my enemy. We're close enough to strike each other. We don't have any weapons. We confront each other empty-handed. Emiya is not a swordsman. We are beings that create swords. Then...
分かっているようだな。俺と戦うということは、牽制を競い合うということだと。
The twin swords appear in his hands. That night, the simple twin swords I admired in the Ryudo temple. Rare swords that a legendary craftsman made at the price of his wife.
トレス。
I activate the completed blueprint and reproduce the twin swords using my image. What a bad job. The twin swords I once thought were perfect are too unprecise compared to his. An inferior illusion will become a delusion. Probably my swords will shatter and disappear when they crash against his. I take another step. Crunch. The rubble crunches under my foot. That serves as the signal.
俺の牽制についてこれるか。わずかでも精度を落とせば、それがお前の死に際
Okay,
になろう。
Zevlen,
Let me just
we should
find out.
probably stop.
Yeah. The opposing swords sweep through the air. I'm gonna cut it out if it isn't, so don't worry about it. They are drawn together like magnets and clash into each other. Interlude. There you go. Interlude 52.
Boy, right on time.
So, do you want to do the interlude, or do we just...
Let's end it for now. This becomes a good starting point for next episode.
Oh yeah, we're gonna see some Shinji action Some
Yeah,
some great Tosaka action.
some great Osaka
Great
action.
great question mark.
Lancer action?
Lancer action? I mean, Lancer is gonna be there. This was a ride.
Boy, but
I said that
I
this was
think-
gonna be a ride. I said that this was gonna be a Fight Club.
this
So.
is going to be. This was Fight Club. This was philosophical debate. This was everything, everywhere, all at once.
Oh yeah. And in the next episode is gonna be pretty wild. It's gonna be wilder than this, probably. I'm gonna say.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, it's crazy. The ending of Blade Works is fucking nuts.
And please, Zevlen, when next episode comes, remind us, because I think that we're going to have a big debate at the beginning of the next episode, because right now I'm tired of everything, but at the same time that scene was a lot. That everything there had a lot. That wow,
Yeah.
just wow.
I know, it's great. It's fantastic. And the new translation is indeed much better. I hope that comes out at some point. I know that it will. I
Someday.
trust the guy. But one day we'll be able to actually fully grasp the context of what Archer said. From what I've heard from the man, it's got some more nuance that didn't shine through in this translation, but it's still very effective. So yeah, next time we'll see some Shinji action and some man-on-man action going on. So
We are going to prepare ourselves. We are going to a WWE style
wrestling
brawl
match.
between
Macho Man Shido Savage.
versus Macho Man from the future, Archer.
Oh man, Macho Man from the future.
That is something that-
He
that
went
is
to the
something you
Cyclone.
would like. That is something you would like to see in WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, he went to the Cyclone. He went to the Danger Zone, and now he is Archer. So guess that didn't turn out too good. But yeah, this is it. I'm gonna upload
Wow,
episode 32 with episode 33.
This is going to be a pop for everyone that was waiting. That was something and a half.
Yeah, I mean they're effectively just one episode because episode 32
Yes.
lasts
Which is
50 minutes.
ironic. Which is ironic because they are both two episodes that are ridiculously far apart in the making process, but in the releasing are pretty much sent together.
In fact, I think I might just join the both of them and make a 32 and 33 release. Because the first one is so short that it might just make more sense as a 2-hour episode. We'll see. I'll figure it out. I'm gonna have to edit them anyway. So,
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah. We'll see
Goodbye
everybody
for all.
later.
later in episode 34, that is going to come out someday.
In 20 years, we'll do it. See you guys.